Hey everybody, how's it going? Let's talk about your home recording studio. Today I'm going to do kind of a user comments of sorts, at least a response to a particular user comment that brings up a really good point that I'd like to cover here real quick. So user Mike Carr says, "Glad I found you. I just ordered an inexpensive desk from Sweetwater. I'm at the stage where I need to select and properly hook up a mixer. I'm considering a Behringer Xenix X2222 USB. I'll be watching all your videos. Perhaps you've already covered the mixer. If not, I have a feeling the selection and proper installation and hookup of a mixer makes or breaks a studio." First of all, Mike, thanks so much for your comment. It really does mean a whole lot. I'm glad somebody out there is watching, and thanks to all you guys that are commenting. You know, JD and Greg and Miner Man. I really do appreciate it. I read them all, and I do really enjoy seeing the comments. So this one in particular just brings up what I consider a really good point, something that I wish that I'd covered in my basic series, and that is the role of a mixer in a home studio. Now, you have to keep in mind what a mixer does, and true to its namesake, a mixer mixes. A mixer is when you want to take a whole bunch of signals and combine them into a single stereo signal. And these mixers with USB audio interfaces built into them, generally what they send over USB to your computer is just a summed stereo signal of everything that you've got fed into the mixer. So if you, let's say and I have to assume that maybe you're recording a band, or at least recording some drums, or something where you need a whole bunch of microphones, a whole bunch of signals all plugged in, recording at the same time. Now, if what you want is to take all of those signals, mix them on the mixer, use the knobs and the sliders and get the levels set, use the pan knobs to pan everything across the stereo field, and then just have a single stereo signal sent to your computer, like one track with everything already mixed, and that's what you want to record in your software, then yes, a mixer will do that very well. That's really what they're built to do. But if you're looking to take a whole bunch of signals and have them each have their own track in your software, let's say you want to take 16 different signals, and you want 16 tracks in your software that you can, after you've recorded, you can individually manipulate and mix and pan and fade and everything in your software, then no, the USB mixer is not going to do what you're wanting it to do. In that case, you're really going to want an audio interface. Now, if anybody's watching, correct me if I'm wrong, if there are mixers out there, I've heard a couple of whispers of maybe Allen and Heath might have some that can send 16 channels maybe. I did a quick search for them, and I couldn't find anything, at least not in a kind of reasonable price range. So the mixer that was the subject of the question here, it's about a $250 mixer or so. So I have a feeling, unless you're just wanting to mix down to a stereo signal and record that you're going to be better served with a proper audio interface. One of the most popular ones around the forums that people have been using for a long time was the Tascam US 1800. It is unfortunately now discontinued. It's been replaced by a newer model. I'll put a link to, I can't remember off the top of my head what the newer model is called, but I'll link to it in the description below. And yeah, they run right in that 200 and 250 range. I think that they have 8 microphone preamps built into them, so you can just plug, in one unit, you can get 8 microphones and 8 discrete signals all at once, just bam. They do have some other inputs that you can use. They have some line level inputs, which means that you would need some external preamps in order to feed a line level signal. And I think they have at least maybe 4 line level inputs. And then I think they have an SPDIF, which through a coaxial cable will get you another 2 inputs, I believe. So the mixer that you were looking at has 20 different inputs. That's a lot. So if you're wanting something with a comparable number of inputs, Actually, Behringer does make in their new Euphoria series, the kind of the flagship of that series. I think it runs at about $200 to $300. I can't remember off the top of my head. And it has, much like the US 1800, it has 8 microphone preamps built in. It has, I believe, SPDIF, so you can get another 2 channels. But it has what maybe for you could be a really important piece of connectivity called ADAT, or ADAT. Honestly, off the top of my head, I don't even know what ADAT stands for, but it's basically an optical digital signal that you can use to connect an external, preamp in this case. So while you get 8 channels, 8 preamps just built right into the interface, if you buy and I think it's called the, Behringer makes it, it's the ADA 8200, I believe. Again, I'll put it down in the description. But that would pair very nicely with the Euphoria because it has the ADAT connectivity. So with one cable, you can connect these 2 units. The ADA 8200 has another 8 preamps. So and I think the 2 of them combined is just under $500. So if you really do want, so that would be 16 preamp channels. I think there's still some line inputs if you want to use some external preamps. I'm sure that you could get up to that 20 input count and have all 20 inputs record simultaneously and all 20 inputs record to their own track in your software. So I have a feeling if that's what you're wanting to do, that's the type of solution you're going to want to look for, is an audio interface with ADAT connectivity and a multi-channel preamp with ADAT connectivity, and connect them together. And they can combine together for some pretty large numbers of inputs that you can all record as discrete tracks to your software. So hopefully that's a little bit of help in your shopping. I can't really personally vouch for that Euphoria unit because I've never used it. I have its little brother still sitting in a box right here that I'm getting ready to unbox and give a try to. But really, all the reviews, I think Behringer in this day and age has a pretty good bang for the buck. While I might not be able to 100% vouch for them, I think that if you buy from a store with a good return policy, I don't think you really have anything to lose just giving them a try. And since Behringer was the brand of the mixer you were looking at in the first place, you probably wouldn't have any qualms whatsoever about about that brand name. So hopefully this has been a little bit of help. Hopefully this helps you in your shopping. And if you have any questions or anything like that, just leave them in the comments below. If you're watching and you have any suggestions for somebody shopping for such a unit, leave them in the comments below. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next time.